Hello yogis, and welcome to your at-home yoga practice. Thank you so much for showing up and sharing your practice and sharing your shine. I am wildly humbled and deeply honored to be part of your yoga journey. And to begin our time together, I invite you to take a nurturing breath in and a gentle breath out. And to really welcome yourself, to really come to your mat, to come to this practice exactly as you are, to come as you are. So often I find in myself, and sometimes when I talk with students, I notice that there's this undercurrent urgency to use the yoga practice or the meditation practice or even a compassionate practice to improve ourselves, to fix ourselves. And so something that I invite you to explore in your practice is when there's a moment of striving, when there's a moment of, I'm going to do this because I want to fix my body in some way, or I want to improve. And it's normal and natural that we want to grow and expand and have new experiences and try out different things and poses. My invitation to you is to use the practice as just a continuing, refreshing opportunity to befriend yourself, and in that befriending, in that radical befriending, have spaciousness to explore in a way that is freed from this intention or this urgency to strive, this urgency to fix, this urgency to perfect. And even last week when we explored coming home to ourselves in a compassionate way, letting that compassion be a cultivation of gentle spaciousness that's going to hold whatever arises in comfort and care, and not utilizing compassion as a way to slay and push away or sweep away maybe more difficult emotions. So just utilizing compassion in its purest and sweetest sense, that when there's a moment of suffering or a moment of discomfort, we are going to greet ourselves with compassion because we're human and we deserve that affectionate attentiveness. And so I wanted to share with you a little bit of a poem. I'm going to read you a poem because why not? I'm going to read you a poem. And I'm excited. And this is a book of poetry called I Am Her Tribe by Danielle Dobby. And again, I hope I'm doing her name justice. I thank her from my heart out into the universe. And this poem inspired the practice that's about to unfold, and it's called Come As You Are. The light in me cannot always see and honor the light in you. And it's because of this, the love of the process, the love of this journey, I keep showing up to practice. For me, it's all yoga. Finding steady breath in the unknown, the rhythmic flow when words fall off my tongue and down onto paper, granting myself permission to say no without apology. Grounding my feet into the space that was created after he left me. All is not right, nor wrong. It just is. Come as you are. For me, it's all yoga. So however you are, Danielle Dobby, right there, gorgeous. And just to continue and wrap up and say, however you are, whatever is going on with you in your body, in your heart, in your mind, it's an invitation. It's an invitation to practice attentiveness. It's an invitation to practice compassion in a way that is without conditions. It's a way to root into radical acceptance. And so, however you are right here, right now, you are welcome. You are welcomed. And I look forward to sharing in your practice. Welcome, yogis, to the mat and to your at-home yoga practice. Today, I invite you to begin by standing, by rising if you're not already standing. So take a few moments to rise, to plant your feet, and I invite you to begin by taking mindful steps around your yoga mat, as if you are tracing your yoga mat, as if to say, this is my space, I'm claiming it. I'm claiming it with an intention of a yoga practice that is affirming and nurturing, and one that is celebrating the person that you are right here, right now. Celebrating or comforting or just radically accepting. So we're creating and affirming this space. You are tracing your yoga mat with these mindful steps. Maybe you dance. Maybe you just slide. You do something. And as you move, I invite you to bring your awareness, your attentiveness down into the soles of your feet. Maybe you even stomp. And when we engage our awareness into the soles of our feet, we ignite our brain to be right here in the present moment. So a simple and profound way to return to the now is by bringing our awareness into our feet, because our feet are always planted right here in the now. And the now is the only place that life exists, that life is really happening. So you're coming back to the now. You have traced your yoga mat. You have claimed your space. You are creating space for you to be available to yourself. And then when you're ready, when you have traced your yoga mat, when you have felt down into your feet, maybe you rock, just feeling sensation in the soles of the feet. Maybe you lift your toes, stretch out your toes, press down into your heels. You know, a little foot party. Then you're going to find a place where you can stand. And we are going to rise and stand in a way that emanates presence. So what do I mean by that? What I mean is we are bringing our awareness into our body. Our toes are pointing forward. If you need to readjust your feet, go on and do that. Our heart is open. So it takes courage to be present, right? It takes courage to show up and be open-hearted to ourselves and to the moment. So, way to go, you. You've got a strong, open heart. You've got a core. I'm going to dive down here for a second. You've got a core that's pulling gently in and up to support that buoyant heart. The back of the neck is long. Your face becomes soft and smooth. So often we can wear an expression, and we're just inviting our jaw to relax. And then here, as you feel down into your feet, as you feel the length of your spine, as you feel how you are taking up space in a beautiful, dignified manner, I invite you to have your hands resting in a place where they feel called to rest. So maybe that's out by your side and your palms are energized with presence. So that means they're not just like hanging, you're like, I'm here. Or your hands are going to rest at your heart center, or maybe one on the belly. So this is a sign of soothing, a sign of connection, a gesture of support. I'm here for you. I've got you. Come as you are. I'm here to greet you. And then when your hands find that place to rest, and maybe you explore, maybe you need a hug. I think we all could use a hug. Maybe this is where you are. Maybe you're here. Once you find that place where your hands are instinctually and intuitively and kindly resting, and then you can begin to invite your gaze to become really gentle. So the room around you, it just comes to you. It just floats into your awareness. There's nothing to strive for. There's nothing to critique. Let that go. So the room becomes a little softer in sight. You are welcome to close your eyes if that would feel yummy and welcoming. If you do so, maybe there's a moment of, oh, I've got to reshift and find my balance here. So go on and do that, and just know you can reopen your eyes at any time. And then as we land here, really land here, root down back into your feet. Feel your feet sinking down into the fibers of the mat, as if the fibers of the mat are warm sand. And the earth is rising to support you, so you can release a little bit more any holding in the belly or in the shoulders, or any holding around your heart. So a moment to just soften anything that you are carrying, be it the thought, the narrative, the tension somewhere in the body, the tension or the ache around the heart. So we're just inviting the power of presence to soften, so we can root into the brilliance, the intelligence, the strength that is our physical self. And as you feel down into the body, as you feel down into your belly and into your heart, feel the breath rising and rippling and soothing and cascading. The breath that invites you and reassures you to come as you are, to be as you are. The breath is surrounding you and embracing you and cultivating life force that you can return to no matter what state you are in. So befriending the breath with a slow breath all the way in, as if you're breathing into the soles of the feet, nurturing in-breath that rises and embraces. And then a slow breath all the way out that rinses and empties in a delicious way, so you can feel a little bit more ease or relaxed, or just be a little bit more in this moment, in your body. And 3 cycles of conscious breath, just like that, breathing all the way in, slow and steady, as if you're breathing into the soles of the feet. So every part of your being is rivering in fresh energy. And then a slow breath all the way out, as if you're breathing out through the crown of your head, a wave of cascading ease. As you breathe, standing tall in witnessing, in a gentle and strong vibration that's enlivened in presence. So it's not aloof or detached. You are witnessing the ebb and flow of emotions and sensations and thoughts, and in a spaciousness that supports you, in a spaciousness that allows you to be as you need to be. So there's nothing to resist, there's nothing to judge, and there's nothing to fix. There's nothing to improve upon. As you stand tall, as you center yourself, as you receive and relax with the river, the rhythm of your breath, just let that breath bring you back into the wholeness and the completeness that is yourself. And let your foundation be one of radical and unconditional acceptance. And if there is a response to that, just notice and soften and breathe and receive. And you can stay here, standing and in this meditative centering for as long as you wish. When you feel this instinctual cue that, hey, it's time to move. When you're ready, eyes gently opened or gently closed. Connect with your breath in a way that's going to guide your movement. So your inhale will rise and your fingertips will begin to lift up. And you can gently blink your gaze open if it was closed. And then the out breath, big bend in the knees, palms meet, pour down like water. The out breath brings you down towards the ground, big bend in the knees, the fingertips trace the ground, the floor, the mat. And then as you breathe in, let your fingertips sweep over your feet, okay? That idea of rooting, of grounding, of feeling. And then inhale, begin to lengthen the spine and the fingertips climb up the knees. Maybe hands go towards the hips, lower belly pulls in and up so you can rise nice and strong. Inhale, lift all the way up. Exhale, pour down like water. Get heavy, let gravity do the work for you. Your head gets heavy. Press into your feet, fingertips trace up. Feel the texture. Skin close, hands to hips, lower belly pulls in and up. Rise, inhale, lifting. This is the flow. Take your time as you go. And when you rise, particularly paying attention to the belly pulling in and up, maybe hands coming to the hips to just keep the lower back stable as you lift up. Beautiful ways to show support. If it feels accessible, invite one more round. As if you are tracing affectionate attentiveness around your whole self through breath and movement. And when you arrive, when you're standing up tall once more, interlace your fingers, relax your shoulders, press into your feet, and trace a circle, so an orbit. Letting the feet and legs stay stable and the upper body moves at its own pace. And when you feel full and complete in this movement, release your hands, big bend in the knees, pour down like water. the knees. We're gonna stay in this standing forward fold. Hands come to opposite elbows. And then an invitation to bring your hands along your forearms and squeeze. So rubbing the arms, go up and down. So that nurturing gesture, that connection to self. Awakening the skin. And then when that feels full and complete, let the back of the neck get long, the head gets heavy. Gently sway over to the right. Bigger bend in the left knee, perhaps. Inhale through center when you're ready. Bigger bend in the right knee, the head gets heavy. The breath breathes you. And inhale to return to center. Release your fingertips down. And come to walk out into a plank pose. So mindful steps here. So every transition is a yoga pose in of itself. Spread out your fingers, press your knuckles down, puff the back of the heart to the sky. Exhale, press your heart towards your thighs. Have some softness in the knees as you invite the spine to grow long. Receive an in-breath. Relax with your out-breath. Feel the balls of the feet on the mat. Feel the hands on the mat. Pressing the knuckles down. And then when you're ready, invite your knees to come mat distance apart and round back into a child's pose, or actually come to rest on your belly if child's pose is not restorative to you, meaning you just feel like the breath feels a little tight there. Come down to your belly and rest here. It's so important in our yoga practice that we have a pose or a place where we can just really access our breath and tune into ourselves. So have the curiosity and then the courage to explore and be open to yourself and be open to the guidance of your breath. Usually if there's an expansive breath, it's a sign that you're in the right spot. So child's pose, lying down on your belly, maybe even sitting up. And then invite that pose, whatever shape you are in, to be an invitation for your affectionate attentiveness to become engaged in. So whatever sensations are arising, emotions, thoughts, there's nothing to fight or suppress or resist. When we can realign in that center of gentle witnessing, we can create the space to let our emotions travel through, to let our thoughts pass by like clouds. So we're not fusing our identity in the emotion or fusing our identity into the thought, or even fusing our identity into a narrative about the sensation, which is a story that we have about our body. How complex we can be. And so in stillness, strengthen your relationship to witnessing by receiving your breath and kind of pouring compassion, kindness, softness into any part of yourself that is striving, even in stillness. So just kindness to that, kindness with this breath. next time that you breathe out, breathe all the way out. Feel how you are connected to the ground. Feel how you are supported. Let your out breath kind of be a cue to reroute back into the body, or just have a more awareness into how you are present in your body. And with this foundation of kind of like a relaxed attentiveness, we are going to begin to flow. So I invite you to begin, and if you had a thought about that, be like, ooh, what's gonna happen next? Trust yourself, trust your breath, you got this. You can always pause the video. You can always do something else and come back. How fun to be practicing at home at your own time. So when you're ready, you're gonna move into a neutral tabletop position. You're gonna press into the tops of the feet, press down into the hands, into the knuckles. Inhale, the belly gently moves down, the heart comes forward. We're in a cow pose. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin in. We're in a cat. Flow in between these two spaces, massaging the spine with movement. Then when you're ready, exhale, round the spine, cat pose. Tuck the toes, lift the knees an inch or two, press down into your knuckles, plug your arm bones into the sockets and walk your feet back as your heart presses to your thighs, downward facing dog. Inhale, come up nice and high on the balls of the feet, ripple forward into a plank pose. The crown of the head is coming forward, shoulders are moving over the fingertips, puff the back of the heart to the sky. Lower belly pulls in and up, and energetically lift the backs of the legs up towards the ceiling. Engaged and strong. Exhale, press your heart towards your thighs and thighs to the back of the room, downward facing dog. Ride the rhythm of your breath. Inhale, ripple forward, plank pose. Keep high-fiving the mat, and the mat is high-fiving back. Puff the back of the heart to the sky. Exhale, press it back, heart to the thighs, downward facing dog. Once more, inhale, ripple forward, plank pose. Pause. Exhale, press it back, downward facing dog. Pause, relax the jaw, drop the thought, receive the breath, receive yourself. Exactly as you are. With that foundation, we build strength. Once more, inhale, come forward into a plank pose. Invite your knees to come down, lower belly pulls in and up. Eyes of the elbows, spin forward, that little part. Boom. Lower belly pulls in and up, press down to the knuckles, relax your face. Take 3 of the tiniest push-ups. Exhale, come halfway down, elbows hug the side body. Inhale, press the back of the heart to the sky. Exhale, halfway down, elbows hug the side body. Inhale, press up. Exhale, halfway down, relax the face. Inhale, press up, round it back into a child's pose. Slow breath in, slow breath out. Pause, breathe, create space for yourself to check in. If there's a narrative that you have about your body after that sequence, because there was maybe some plank poses are challenging, perhaps. So just noticing if there's a critique, and if you could just notice it and receive a slower breath. So you're not even gonna critique any critique. You're just noticing and creating a bit more space for affectionate attentiveness, for kindness, for the power of gentleness. And that is what's going to help, if you wish, but it's going to cultivate strength when we work with ourselves. But then softening and letting go of any striving. When you're ready, with your next in-breath, feel down into the tops of the feet, feel down into the knees. Lift all the way up, rise, sunflower pose. Hook your thumbs, lengthen your spine, and exhale. Bring your right arm forward and your left arm back. The hips are pressing forward. Inhale, lift, hook your thumbs, exhale, left arm forward, right arm back. Inhale, lift up, exhale, back down into child's pose, and this time, sweep both arms out in front and rock over to the right. If you want, you can do a little watch asana, so watch asanas, just watch the video for a second and then flow. Press into your right hand, sweep your left arm up and around and around and around, and then plant the left palm, sweep over, sweep your weight over to the left, reach your right arm up and around and around and around, and then come down. So flowing, rocking side to side. Tracing the mat with your fingertips. If this movement does not feel inviting, take a few moments to just breathe in a child's pose. Or flow through some cat and cows. Have the courage to do something that I don't tell you to do. Make up your own practice. And when you feel full and complete in those movements, when you're ready, we will exhale, round back into a neutral tabletop position. Move from side to side. And even maybe go on and, I forgot to do this, but like massage your hands for a second. There was a part of the flow that I forgot, but anyway. You can massage your hands, shake it out, because we're going to be on our hands a bit more. And then resettle back in. Press into the tops of the feet, spread out the fingers. Roll under the left toes. Inhale, lift the left leg, the belly drops, the heart shines. We're in a cow pose with a lifted left leg. Exhale, round, knee towards the nose, puff the back of the heart to the sky. Inhale, lengthen, belly gently drops, heart shines. Exhale, round, so you're in a cat, knee goes towards the nose. Inhale, lengthen and extend, cow, lifted left leg. Exhale, round, knee towards nose. This time, bring your gaze to your left hand, step your left foot forward, and take a moment, invite the right knee to maybe hop a step behind. Lean a little bit more forward so you're off your kneecap and more onto your right thigh. Press into your left foot. Bring your hands to the top of the left thigh. Pause. Take a moment to find your foundation. You can tuck your back toes or press that foot down. You can keep leaning a little further so you're not on that kneecap. You're not having pressure on your knee. If you're like, this is super uncomfortable, you can roll under your mat. You can grab a blanket. Sorry, I didn't tell you that earlier, but take the time to feel comfortable on your mat and in this position. Feel down into where you're rooted. That's going to keep you stable. Press into the left foot. Maybe even lift the left toes and settle them down. Invite your hips to get a little heavy here as the knee goes over the ankle and then a little towards the little toe. We're going to flow. Now if you're like, whew, this is enough for me, then stay here and breathe, and receive, and be curious, and create space with your breath. If you want to flow or have some curiosity with that, as you breathe in, you're engaging your glutes and you're zipping everything up. Your core is pulling in and up and you're rising. So your hips are squaring a little bit more towards the mat and that knee is lifting up a little bit more. So as you exhale, sink into your hips, release, knee goes towards the little toe. Inhale, engage. You're zipping everything up through the midline. You're engaging your glutes, you're engaging your core, relax your face, exhale, release. Invite this for maybe 3 more cycles, or you can get your hands involved. As you breathe out, bring your arms out, high five the air. Inhale, zip everything in. Bring your hands to your heart as you lift up. Exhale, release. Inhale, gather in. Let's do one more. Exhale, release. Press into your feet. Inhale, gather all your strength in. Exhale, release. Bring your hands down. Slow breath in. Slow breath out. Press down into your right palm now. Bring your left hand to your hip. And then very slowly begin to twist. Invite your belly to move towards your left thigh. Let the back of the head get long. And then, as the belly moves in and up and the spine is long, you can reach your left arm up to the sky. High five, you're doing great. Breathing here, let the body breathe, receiving. And then with your next out breath, when you're ready, release the hand down, press into your right palm, feel into the back knee, bring the left knee back, sink it back, child's pose, or rest on your belly. 3 cycles of breath to rinse, to renew, to listen in a way that is loving and filled with courage. And just noticing if there's a critique or if there's a story, and if you could just create the space to listen without any judgment and return back into the strength of gentleness or lightness or a supportive, slower cycle of breath. So when you feel ready to proceed, and you can stay in child's pose or resting on your belly or seated upright for however long as you like, right? So having that curiosity to tune in and the courage to do what your body wants to do, because it knows, it's very wise and intelligent. So trust that expansiveness of your breath or that gut feeling, if that's how your instinct speaks to you, to decide what would be the best for you to do right now. If and when you're ready to flow or move back into that sequence, we'll meet in a neutral tabletop position and flow through some cat and cows at your own pace. And the next time you breathe out and round to a cat, tuck the toes and press back to downward facing dog. Inhale, come up nice and high on the balls of the feet, ripple forward, plank pose, puff the back of the heart to the sky. Exhale, press the mat away, heart to the thighs, downward facing dog. Ride the rhythm of your breath. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, press back, keeping the core engaged, so belly in and up as you ride forward with the in-breath and as you press back with the out-breath. The next time you come to a plank pose, pause, invite your knees to move down, your lower belly is pulling in and up. The eyes of the elbows are spinning slightly forward. Keep high-fiving the mat, and the mat high-fives back, puffing the back of the heart to the sky. 3 of the smallest push-ups. If you hadn't thought about it, let it go. When you're ready, exhale halfway down. Inhale, press up. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale, press up. Once more, exhale, halfway down, pause. Elbows hug the side body, core is engaged. Exhale, up, round back, child's pose, slow breath in, slow breath out. Release everything we just did, it's already in the past. And when you're ready, inhale, lift all the way up, hook your thumbs. Exhale, left hand forward, right arm back, square the hips forward. Inhale, rise. Exhale, right arm forward, left fingertips back. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, back into a child's pose. And then you can swim. You can bring the right arm around and shift your way into the right side of the body. And then the left arm comes around and you can shift your way into the left side of the body. You can trace the mat with your fingertips, feeling the texture, a way to stay present, a way to ground, staying in tune with our senses of touch. Or you can just take a few moments to pause and breathe in a child's pose. So choosing the action that lets you just be as you need to be. Nurturing your expansive connection with your breath. And then when you're ready, we'll meet back up in that neutral tabletop position. Again, that same invitation to massage your hands. I always like to massage my hands after I've done a couple of planks and such. Just to say, I got your back. High five in. When you're ready, neutral tabletop position, roll your right toes under. Inhale, lift the leg, the belly gently drops, the heart shines. We're in a cow pose with a lifted right leg. Exhale, round into a cat and bring the knee towards your nose. Cat pose with the knee curling in. Inhale, lengthen and extend. Exhale, curl, tuck in. Inhale, lengthen and extend. Exhale, curl, tuck in. Pause, bring your right foot towards your right hand. You can take a hold of your ankle and walk it forward. Invite the back knee to hop maybe a step back or so you're moving off your kneecap and more towards your thigh. You can tuck those back toes, keep that back leg stable. Feel where you're making contact, right, with your right foot, the left ball of the foot, the toes. Hands come to the thigh, sink down into the hips. In fact, I'm gonna come face you. Sink down into your hips. And then with your inhale, you're zipping everything up, right? Up through midline. You're lifting up, you're engaging your glutes, you're engaging your core. And then exhale, sink, knee towards little toe. Flow with your breath. Inhale, gather, engage. Exhale, empty, release, sink. Inhale, gather, engage, glutes, core. Exhale, sink, release. If you wish, get your arms more involved. Inhale, gather, hands come to the heart. Exhale, high five the air, beam the heart. Two more. Inhaling, hands to the heart. Exhale, high five the air, beam the heart. Once more. Inhale, lengthen, gather. Exhale, high five the air. Bring your fingertips down. Give yourself an inner high five for showing up, for doing that work. And then release it, let it go as you plant your left palm down. Bring your right hand to your right hip. Plug your belly in and up. Pull your belly in and up. And plug your right thigh bone into the socket. I meant to say plug your right thigh bone. Whoops. And then gently let your rib cage begin to spin. And then, if you wish, lift your right arm up. Now, if you do this and you find the breath constricts or there's some tightness in your neck, let that go. Come as you are. Let your movements support you. And then release when you're ready. Step the right knee back. Sink back into a child's pose or move to downward facing dog or flow. So an opportunity to pause, to create space through a cycle of breath, and then let your body guide you. Rest, movement, letting go of anything about punishing the body or how our practice needs to be impressive or that we have to prove something. You are in your own yoga studio. There's no one to impress. And any thought about punishing the body with extra movement when your body needs rest, just notice that and see if you could explore a kinder option. And then when you're ready, I'm going to invite you to meet in a standing forward fold. So get there however you'd like to get there. Maybe walk your hands back to your feet if you're in down dog, or just rise up like I just did. And take a few moments, plant your feet, big bend in the knees, let your head get heavy. Let this pose, let this pause be an invitation to engage affectionate attentiveness. Letting any thoughts about how the practice should be going or how we should be doing just drop out of the mind, creating space for a fuller breath, a kinder tone of inner voice. When you're ready, inhale, lengthen your spine, the fingertips trace up the legs, bring your hands to your hips, rise, circle the arms all the way up, receive your in-breath, relax towards your heart center, towards yourself with your out-breath. Have the hands instinctually rest in any way. This is an act, a gesture of compassion, of support, of soothing. I see you, right? I see you, I am here for you. And invite a conscious cycle of breath. Feeling down into your feet, feeling perhaps your hands, the rhythm of your heart, maybe even feeling a strong emotion if it's present, or a sensation like with the bath, with the bathing of your compassion. And when you're ready to proceed, toes will be pointing forward, the breath is keeping us steady, and we are going to flow, moving into a chair pose. If you had thought about it, let it go. Inhale, circle the arms up. Exhale, bend in the knees, hands in front of the heart. Press into your feet, lower belly pulls in and up. Inhale, energize, rise. Exhale, back into your chair pose. So this is the flow. Move at your own pace. Trace your space, your wing space, with dignity and maybe delight. And then sit in the throne of yourself in your chair pose. Fierce compassion. Fierce compassion, pause, chair pose. Fierce compassion to greet the reality of sensation, be it challenging or easy. Slight tuck, belly in and up, ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Let your fingertips swim in front of you. With an exhale, bring your left arm back, little like penguin wave. And then inhale, press into your feet, hook your thumbs like we've done before. Exhale, move into a twist. Bring your right arm behind you. If you got a wall, you can high five it. And your left fingertips forward. Inhale, come back to center. Hook your thumbs. Exhale, chair pose. Press into your feet. Lower belly pulls in and up. Inhale, arms swim out in front. Exhale, let your right arm swim behind you. Little penguin wave. Work your arm. Inhale, press, hook your thumbs. Exhale, move into that twist, right arm forward. Left hand comes back. This is when we work with what is there with us. A wall, if that's there for you. Inhale, lift back up to center. This time, relax your shoulders, lift your gaze. Feel down and down and down into your feet, moving the heels off the ground, moving your sense of center into the balls of the feet. Stretch the soles of the feet. When you come down, if you fall out of the pose, or when you fall out of the pose, more likely, because we've all done it, we'll all do it, just notice that narrative and rise back up if that feels good for you. And then when you're ready, nice and slow, come down. Your heels get heavy. The toes will lift as the hands find home in front of the heart. Stretch out your toes, stretch out your fingers, press your palms together, press down actively into your feet, and then soften your toes down and soften into your breath. 3 cycles of conscious breath to receive, to relax into that space that you are creating for yourself, to be available to yourself, and to meet whatever arises with an openness, with a washing away of any striving or improving, because that can just pop up. So just noticing and softening back into the breath, back into the body, back into yourself. And then when you're ready, invite your hands to come down and step out long ways on your mat. We'll be pressing down into our right foot and then pivoting our left toes forward towards the top edge of the mat, the top edge of the mat. We're moving to warrior 2. Take a bend to your right knee. Invite your right knee towards the little toe, so that same action that we did before in that low lunge. Press down actively into the outer edges of your feet as the leg bones feed up. Your core is pulling in and up so your heart can open. Find that mountain pose here, that nice long spine. Bring your hands in front of your heart. The courage to be a kind warrior present here in this journey. And then when you're ready, bring your arms out nice and strong. Press your palms down as if you're pressing into pillows. Keep actively pressing into your feet. Turn your gaze over your front fingertips. And then let the palms open. As you inhale, straighten the front leg, softness in the front knee. Bring your fingertips up and engage your glutes. Gather everything in towards your core. Zip up through the midline. So a lot of activity, a lot of engagement right here like we did before in that low lunge. And then with your out breath, take a bend to the knee, knee towards the little toe. High five the air. Bring your right palm to your right hip. Reach over with your left fingertips and bring your gaze back to your right leg. We're in a peaceful warrior pose. Exhale, take a bend to the left elbow. Your spine is nice and long, and bring your left forearm down onto your left thigh. Let your spine lengthen as the rib cage opens, belly pulls in and up. Press the head back, receive your breath. With your out breath, feel down to your feet. Inhale, lift the right arm up. We're moving out of the pose. Swim the right arm around, and it's as if that right arm gets pulled up back into your warrior 2. Breathe in, breathe out. Straighten the front leg, pivot the toes forward, bring your hands to your heart. Pause, breathe, be in the echo of that experience. Notice what you notice. Soften where you can soften. Let it all be an invitation to come, to show up as you are. All an invitation to practice affectionate attentiveness, to practice compassion as we work with the body, as we work with ourselves. And a practice of pausing, of receiving, of integrating the energy, the effort. And then switching sides. So when you're ready, pivot the right toes forward. I have to say, I usually get my rights and lefts confused, and in class I can typically figure out where my rights and lefts are. So if I happen to do that in the video, trust your own cueing with your right and lefts, just to say. So you're taking a bend to the right knee. You're working the right knee towards the little toe. Actively press into your left foot. Invite your hands in front of your heart. As you feel down, as you firm, as you root into your foundation, you can rise through your spine. When you feel ready, bring your arms out. Press your palms down as if you're pressing into pillows. Feel your wings, your shoulder blades on your back. Bring your gaze over your front fingertips. Have the courage, or practice having the courage to show up right here in this moment exactly as it is. You exactly as you are in this journey, breathing and being. And then when you're ready, open your palms, relax your elbows, inhale, lengthen and rise. Straighten the front leg, have softness in the knees, and then gather everything. Engage your glutes, so kind of squeeze your butt. Lower belly pulls in and up. Gather everything in towards the midline. And then exhale, bend in the front knee towards the little toe. High five the air. Bring your left palm to your hip. Reach your right fingertips back. Bring your gaze back. Peaceful warrior. Keep bending into that front knee towards the little toe. Inhale, belly in and up. We're moving out of the pose, side angle. Bring your front forearm to the front thigh. The ribcage spirals open. The spine is long. Your tailbone is shooting down towards your back foot, or it's lengthening down. I like that word better. Lengthening down. Belly moves in and up. Let your head move back. Breathe into sensation. Be present in challenge. Stay with yourself. Stay closer to your breath. And then when you're ready to lift up out of the pose, reach your back arm up. Swim your back arm around. Bring your gaze to the fingertips. That will keep you steady. As the left arm presses back, warrior two. Gaze go over the front fingertips. Receive your breath. Relax into your feet. Straighten the front leg. Bring your hands in front of your heart. Having the courage to pause, to breathe, to receive information from your body from a place of acceptance and allowing and spacious listening. So moving, if movement is called for, move from side to side, move back into one of those poses. If stillness is called for, wide-legged forward fold. These are just invitations to explore, because it's all an invitation, right? And if you decide on a pose or decide on a movement and you're like, nope, change your mind, do something else. You can move into a standing forward fold, or just take a few moments to stand up nice and tall. So do what expands your breath. Do what supports the you are here, letting go of any striving, any punishing of the body, any need to fix, right? That's just something to notice and sweep aside. Or just notice and like kind of just recenter yourself with your breath and with presence. And then choose what really nurtures and nourishes you. And then when you feel ready, we will meet up, or you will meet back up with me and my cueing down on the mat. And go on and grant yourself the grace and the exploration and the curiosity and even maybe the lighthearted fun to find a way back down to your mat, letting the transition be a yoga pose. So you can flow, you can pause in a child's pose, right? And when you're ready, you will meet me seated. And then I invite you to bring the soles of your feet together. Take a moment to let gravity get your hips heavy, or just to kind of release into gravity. Let your knees get heavy, your hips heavy, your ankles are heavy. Let your hands come to your feet and massage your feet. Press into the soles of the feet, press into the toes. Engaging, waking up the feet. Engaging, waking up and igniting the mind into the now. Maybe even kind of going back into that intention if you felt inspired or attracted to an intention for your practice of what you're rooting into, just a rekindling, a reminder. And then we're going to do something called happy toes. And so the invitation is to interlace your toes. So yeah, like how we interlace our fingers, interlace your toes. And I can only do a couple. And again, striving, to like let that go. It's more, this is just kind of lighthearted fun, and it feels really good. Or at least I think it feels good. Explore. So you'll be interlacing your toes. They're like little toe hugs, look. I don't know if you can see, but little toe hugs. And then squeeze your toes together so they're in this embrace. And then take a slow breath in. And then as you breathe out, release your feet and wiggle your toes. Happy toes. So maybe there's a sense of spaciousness, or it felt good to get that little massage. Maybe you're like, that is the weirdest thing I've ever done and I'm never doing it again. It was just an invitation. So from here, you can continue to remain seated. This is enough of a hip opener. This is enough right here. The hands can instinctually rest. If you feel that curiosity to forward fold, then follow that curious nudge from the body and pause and breathe there. And then as you breathe, just noticing what you notice and softening where you can soften. The jaw, the area around the thought, softening your maybe your mental response to the physical shape that you're in. Sometimes tightness is just a habitual pattern that the body has adopted to protect us. So tight hamstrings are kind of like a stop sign. And even our inner critic, in a way, can sometimes work to keep us safe. So even softening towards yourself if you found yourself critiquing. And when you're ready, we'll transition out of this space and come to our back. The knees will come together. You'll take a few mindful hops to the top of your mat. Hands will come to the shins, slight tuck of the chin, and slowly roll down onto your back. Let the back of the head rest down. If you got your hair tidied up in a ponytail, maybe loosen it. Take a moment to adjust your hips, to let your spine sink down into the texture, the fibers of the mat, as if the mat were sand, and you can just sink and release a little bit more, and the hands are just instinctually resting. Maybe just as a sign of support, of connection. Even if they're not on the body, but resting off to the side, just having that alivened presence in the palms as the air touches the skin. And then if it feels inviting, invite the knees in towards the chest. Bring the palms down and lift your legs up. Have some softness in the knees. And we're just letting the spine grow long. We're letting the legs lift and kind of just giving them an opportunity to rest into air, to kind of work with gravity in a different way. You can let your gaze softly, gently go to your toes, towards your feet. Notice if there's any critique or language around your toes or around your feet. And see if you could just actually see them for, how marvelous they are, helping you stand and walk and move and get to places. Maybe even kind of trace a footprint onto the ceiling. Relaxing the shoulders down, relaxing into your breath. And then with your next out breath, and let this be slow, like super slow. Begin to descend the feet down. So the feet get super heavy and they land so gently on the outsides of the mat. The arms come out either to a T. I've got a wall by me, so I'm going to take a bend to my elbows and let the backs of my hands rest. So that's an option, or reaching your arm out. And then letting the legs move over to the right, relaxing down into a twist. Receiving the breath, receiving yourself. And feeling the soles of the feet, even here. Air touching, or the texture of the mat, the floor, and the ankles, on the foot. And with that embodied connection, inhale, plant your feet for a moment, feel that, and then exhale the opposite side. And if you've got to shift to make room, go on and do that. Staying lovingly present in the pose, or just softly present. And bring your awareness back into your feet, or feel the spine, where you're making contact with the mat and where you're not. And then when you're ready, bring the knees back to center, plant your feet down, readjust your hips. Invite the knees in towards the chest. Take a moment to curl in, to tune in, to check in. And I'm going to rise, but I invite you to stay lying down. So a moment to practice the pause, to practice a conscious cycle of breath, to create the space to be available to yourself, to spaciously listen from a place freed from striving and maybe enriched with kindness, compassion, gentleness. So we're moving towards the part of the practice called Shavasana, called final rest. And I understand that sometimes when we're at home and we have so much time to practice, I understand if maybe just 3 cycles of breath would be adequate, would be what works for you for Shavasana, for final rest today. I am gonna hold space, probably maybe for 5 to 10 minutes, because I am someone who when I go to a class, I really benefit from the teacher holding space for me to just deeply relax, to be my timekeeper. So I will be your timekeeper if that is what you need. And if you are leaving the video, thank you so much for showing up and sharing your practice and sharing your shine. If you have that stretch of time for Shavasana, for a longer Shavasana, for a longer final rest, then take the time to explore and have the courage and the openness to find a place where the body can really rest and you can breathe smoothly and steadily with steadiness, either in a child's pose or lying on your belly or on your back or even seated upright. I'm gonna get my computer to keep the time. Old school. So as you begin to rest down and settle down and slow down into the shape that you are in for Shavasana, for final relaxation, let your awareness, whatever shape you're in, let your awareness flow back down into your feet. Feel your feet in space. Feel down into the soles of the feet. Feel down into the depths of yourself. By reconnecting and resting in the rhythm of your breath. And let your next in-breath just be this nurturing, receiving of fresh energy. And let your next out-breath cleanse away anything, any striving, any narrative that isn't fully serving you. So as you breathe here, as you root and release and relax into your rhythm of breath, the invitation is to come as you are, to relax and soften into and towards all aspects of self. And breathing here, and I will cue when it's time to transition. Stay close to the breath and stay close to yourself. into you exactly as it is, washing into your senses. And letting yourself arrive to the moment exactly as you are, so there is nothing to push away or judge. Just let yourself lift up and soften into this moment as you are, embodied and present, feeling the rhythm of your breath, and staying close to your rhythm of breath as you begin to re-engage your toes, your fingers. The head can move from side to side. And then pause and drop back into stillness by going back into the shape you were in, or moving back into a fetal-like position, or rising into a comfortable seat. Either way, just being vibrantly attentive in this in-between space, softening and gently cleansing away any thoughts about what's coming next, so you can be more deeply connected to really receiving this breath, this moment. And when you're ready, I invite you to move into a dignified, comfortable seat where the hips are grounding down and the spine is lengthening. You are coming home to yourself here and greeting your arrival with the hands instinctually resting in any place. Inviting a soft gaze and a softening of appreciation for showing up and for doing the work, for being present, for cultivating the space to come home to yourself, and to come home to yourself in a way that is free of any conditions, and strong, in gentleness, in allowing, in the medicine, as Daniel Laporte says, the medicine of acceptance. Thank you so much for showing up and sharing your practice and sharing your shine. The light in me salutes to the light in you. Namaste.